Good afternoon, grinders. I always want to say grinders because I do roto grinders DFS content. It's always the verbiage that comes up. Good morning, grinders. Welcome to the week 5 NFL DFS slate, grinders. But welcome to Spike Week Happy Hour. Thank you for joining me. We took last week off. I am still trying to get everything squared away with all rankings, changelog, NBA core picks, NHL. We got NHL coming, getting all sorts of stuff up and running. And then obviously needed to get back into these draft streams and everything this week. And so somebody asked in the Discord about the rankings coming very, 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 very soon. We're working on it because I'm trying to get a CSV to download for Underdog and all sorts of fun stuff. And it's mostly just me, spoiler alert. So there's only 24 hours in a day. And tonight I'm watching my St. Louis Cardinals. In the wild card game against the Los Angeles Dodgers. So we'll have it done very shortly. If you missed it earlier today, on Tuesdays, I'm trying to do what I'm calling a results recap, where, it's a place for us to talk about best ball stuff. We're not allowed to talk about the best ball teams elsewhere. But a safe space for us to talk about some best ball related, like strategy things, takeaways from the results for the weekend, whether it be for the upcoming, in-season week drafts, whatever, right? Resurrection drafts. In the future, we'll have more in-season contests, right? DraftKings has them every week, blah, blah, blah. You guys get that. You know that already. But instead of the results recap this week, I went on the Underdog football show with Josh Norris, Hayden Winks, Peter Overzet, and Mike Leone. And I thought it was a really good conversation where we kind of did the results recap and talked about maybe some key takeaways from the first month of the season. Some, not even just like key takeaways, but discussion around the top. We actually got to pull up the top 5 teams in Best Ball Mania 2, kind of talk about the roster construction, the picks, all that kind of stuff. It was really, really good conversation, I think. And then we're going to come back and do it again a couple more times this season. But thank you for joining. Go Cards is right. Go Cards is absolutely right. No one roots for the Dodgers. I realize people don't like the Cardinals either. I hate the fact that the Cardinals are the self-proclaimed best fans in baseball. That part is annoying, but I suppose so too, King Coakley. Which, let me fire that up. Let's get that rolling here. We are going to do, for those that missed the top or did not see my tweets, we're going to do a best ball resurrection draft on Underdog. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, I'll be doing in-season football drafts. So I see Josh is in the chat. If you are from Underdog, if Josh or Hayden are here, earmuffs. But it won't always be Underdog. Might be on DraftKings too. But Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays moving forward, we'll be having in-season drafts. I'm going to figure out what to do on Fridays once like Resurrection closes. But anyway, Tuesdays and Thursdays are NBA draft. Hello, Belair. Cheers. But I wanted to, since we did the Underdog football show earlier, I would normally have happy hour and have a draft earlier in the day. So we're just gonna kind of combine them. The draft is really not that important, I don't think. We don't even have to talk about it as it's going, but I figured everybody likes to draft. So if you guys wanted to hop in, we can hop in one right now. I'm going to get in one right now. Best Ball Resurrection. We can kind of shoot the shit, have normal happy hour while the draft's going on in the background. Maybe it'll spur some conversation. We didn't get to talk about it earlier today on the Underdog show. But Justin Fields, I guess that's the big news of the day, huh? Justin Fields. That is pretty big news. really funny because we had a couple of not so good fantasy performances from Fields, even though this past week against the Lions, his real life performance was awesome. We haven't had the greatest fantasy performances. And so now that we're getting him starting, like we're literally getting the announcement he's starting for the rest of the season, I'm going to be really interested to see where he goes. Because in theory, he should go way ahead of where he was going. I don't even remember what he closed at his ADP, maybe 120. I don't know. Let's just call it 120. In theory, now in this, he's starting every single game. You don't have to worry about how many weeks do I have to get by before I use before I can use Justin Fields on my team. You don't have to worry about that anymore. So in theory, he should go higher, but we have this cloud hanging over his head that is 2 bad fantasy performances. The Bears looking horrible. Nagy looks like a dunce, right? Blah, blah, blah. And so I think it's going to be really interesting to see how the Fields thing develops. As weird as it sounds, I'm not trying to go full conspiracy theory that he was trying to make him suck, but I think it's reasonable to say he wasn't actively trying to plan around Justin Fields and his strengths, and he may still not, right? He didn't really ever do it with Mitch Trubisky. I'm not saying Mitch Trubisky is Justin Fields, but Mitch Trubisky's athleticism was one of, if not his strongest trait. And Nagy never gave a shit about his Trubisky's athleticism. But I think now this is how I feel, how I'm going to feel about Trey Lance too. If he can finally just have the job for the rest of the year, which I don't think his is clear cut. But anyway, I don't know that Nagy is sabotaging him directly necessarily, on purpose. But I think having Andy Dalton as the starter coming in, Fields not taking the snaps with the ones, not game planning around, Justin Fields and creating an offense around Justin Fields was naturally sabotaging, subliminally, was sabotaging Nagy, or was sabotaging Fields indirectly, basically. And so I'm wondering if that might change. We'll see. I'm trying not to give Nagy too much credit because he has definitely had the training wheels on. But that's kind of my point is how much do we trust Nagy to kind of create a game plan that caters to what Justin Fields does best? And I really don't know the answer, but that's the hope, because we saw some of the talent. I'm going to tweet something out to need for more for needs to take the he showed this is so I played Justin Fields in DFS, so I watched every snap of that game. I try to watch basically every single game. Sometimes I can't get to all of them because the schedule's a little too tight, but I had that one on one of the screens live, and I thought Fields looked awesome. Some of his throws, like you said, especially down the field, the sideline shot to A-Rob, where A-Rob made an amazing catch, but the sideline shot to A-Rob was like one of those oh shit type throws where you're not a lot of humans on the planet can make this throw. And he did that kind of a couple times. And we didn't even get to see the true running, upside. I'm pretty interested in seeing what we get from Fields. Need 4 more for a resurrection draft. All right, let's see. Can I drop Sermon now? Sounds like Elijah is practicing. It's a great question. I wouldn't because I would want to see how this thing plays out. I think definitely the most likely scenario is probably that Sermon almost goes away. I guess the most likely scenario would be a little bit of Sermon mixing in, and then Elijah as kind of the main early down guy, and Juszczyk on passing downs would be my kind of just And I know there's nuance to that. Not every passing down, right? But obvious passing down situations, Juszczyk is in there. And I think Elijah, the lead on the early down stuff. However, I would kind of want to wait and see how it plays out just because of how valuable we know this backfield is. Like, it's not out of the realm of possibility that Mitchell is like the lesser of the two between him and Sermon this week. Am I expecting that? No, but it's not out of the realm of possibility. So I would not want to drop him too soon, basically, and then have to go and it's a bidding war next week when he gets 65% of the carries or something like that, Yeah, the A-Rob throw was just outrageously good. Outrageously good. This is true. I also don't trust Nagy to to change his offense because Damian Williams is in over Demont, but they definitely are stylistically different kinds of running backs. Damian's really best asset is in the receiving game and being in space, and Demont is kind of a little bit, he's got some shake to him too, but like in between the tackles, making people miss, bouncing off tackles, whatever, and he's fine in the receiving game. But they're stylistically they're just a little bit different, and so in theory, that would lead to a certain type of play calling with Justin Fields. But I don't have a lot of faith in Nagy for that. But that's how I would do it. Who gives a shit what some guy talking about best ball for a living says. But I think Sermon's best case is being hasty to Elijah's Raheem Mostert. That's definitely not his best case. That might be, the most probable outcome. But I mean, the best case is Sermon had earned more of the work. What people do forget a little bit of Elijah Mitchell had the one big run in week 1, but he wasn't very good. He had one long run. He was pretty bad. Outside of that, there was some good film grinder, film bro takes on Elijah Mitchell, really not reading his blocks well. And in that zone scheme, that's obviously very, it's important in anything for a running back, but being when to stick your foot in the ground and get vertical is really important. When to cut back, etc., is really important. And he was quite terrible at it, actually. He just had the one big long run in week 1 because he's really fast. He's really fast. Yeah, I have been unfortunately a little busy since the show this morning, so I'm not fully up to speed with what's going on. Carson did not practice, right? Chris Carson. Let's take a look and see here. Chris Carson did not practice today due to a neck injury and is not expected. Oh, and Seattle is not expected to decide his status until before Thursday night's game. Yeah. And then I assume that's what oh, dang, that filled. Got some people pumping it. Thank you guys for getting this filled. 104. Damn. Not going to get CMC, I guess, huh? I assume that the Carson was hurt last week, and that's why Collins got so many snaps. But that would seem to be the most logical thing to me. But I'm definitely not 100% up to speed on the Carson and Collins stuff. Here we go. What you got, Champ? Carroll had a quote saying he has a long-term neck issue that flares up. Yeah, that sounds sketchy, to say the least. It is not something you want to be hearing about your running back. Not at all. This is a good question. Probably people that you're not going to be very excited for, like Allen Robinson, like Brandon Ayuk, Visca Chenault. Sorry, I'm just going off the top of my head here. Kittle. So the 49ers, obviously. Trying to think. On the clock here. Oh, boy. I'm going to take Devontae. I've been taking Tyreek ahead of Devontae. I don't think I have Devontae yet in a resurrection draft, so I want to make sure I get a little bit of Devontae. Buy lows. It's probably going to be a lot of wide receivers for me. Odell. So what do we have? A-Rob, Ayuk, Odell, Visca, kind of like Kenny Galladay. I'm looking through this player pool. I think Javonte has maybe fallen a little bit. I like Javonte. No, actually, definitely not buying low on Javonte. I don't have a lot of other guys here. Elijah Moore. Here's another one, Elijah Moore. So, yeah. Those are some of the guys off the top of my head. Ridley is an interesting one. I like the bye week thing. When is their bye week? 5 or 6? It starts in week 6, right? Do they have a week? Are there buys in week 5? No, week 6 they start, right? So he'll be on bye the first week of the contest. But I like Ridley too. We finally saw that offense show some signs of life. And while he wasn't like a smash as a part of them showing signs of life, that will come if they're going to be scoring points. And so I like Ridley. I'm not going to speak about him anymore because he is attempting to bury my best ball season, but I think Kyle Pitts too. Looked at the schedule this week and thought about firing Kyler on 80 to 100% of my GPP. Just ran 100 optimals with 0 rules, and it ran. Yeah. If you're going to play 80% Kyler, then you play 20% Lance, right? You got to play the Lance side. I would not do 100% Kyler. I don't have a single problem with stacking that game on every single team. But if it's Lance, if it's Jimmy G, then sure, play Kyler. Because I will never advocate for playing Jimmy G. But if Lance is in there, I would play me some Trey Lance. Is Waller really going to get back to me? That would be. Yes, he is. That is sweet. That's nice. I think I have Waller in the rankings as my. I got to post the top 200. I think I have him at like 14th overall, 13th overall, 13th maybe, something like that. So many of these high-end guys. Casey, I missed your. Have not jumped in a resurrection yet. How are the injured but coming? So this is such a good one. I've done a couple of streams, at least one, of the resurrection drafts. And these guys were like a huge target for me at first. Every one of my early drafts, I was trying to get Michael Thomas, Rashad Bateman. I think Curtis Samuel fell in that bucket. Guys like that. And they went. I mean, Michael Thomas was going in like the 150s, 160s. Bateman, the same thing. They have shot way up. Way up. So I don't have a strong feel. Like Michael Thomas is... I'll find him here really quick. 71 now. Like, I'm not kidding. I was taking him in the 130s or something like that, and I was taking him ahead of ADP at the start of this contest. And obviously, the field has picked up on the old Michael Thomas. Oh, Sedarian. I'll buy low on CD. CD has fallen back a little bit too. Not a lot, but like I'm still in on CD. Side note, if you guys didn't see, I think it's still my pinned tweet. opening night, Thursday night football, right? Bucks, Cowboys. And I was leaving for Philadelphia on like the 6 a.m. flight on Friday morning. So we had the DraftKings had the Fantasy Baseball World Championship, and so I was going to that, and so my buddy's over, and he was coming with me. My wife couldn't go, so we were just going to get up and ride together to the airport. So he's at the house. We're all my wife, myself, and my buddy are watching Thursday night football, Bucks Cowboys, and she doesn't know who these players are and whatnot. And CD makes a big catch, and they're showing him on the screen. She's like, CD, like that's his name, and we're like, yeah, CEEDEE, CD Lamb. And she's like, that's ridiculous. And we'd had a couple cocktails, and so I'm like, yeah, that's what we're gonna name our first child, CD Binefor. And she's like, oh no, that's funny, blah blah blah. And I'm like, you think I'm kidding? Like, that's what we're gonna do. So like I said, she had a couple glasses of wine, and she's like, all right, I'll tweet out. If this tweet gets 2,000 likes, I am going to name our firstborn CD Binefor, CEEDEE. So she clearly underestimated the amount of likes that this thing was going to get when like I tweeted it out, and like everybody that follows me is retweeting it. Absolutely like blew up. We got the likes in a day or whatever. So my firstborn, now thank you to Fantasy Football Twitter, my firstborn child's name is going to be CD, spelled just like CD Lamb. That was very fun. So if nothing happens good from this season, I will at least have gotten to name my child CD from this. And people say Twitter is just a bunch of negative Nancy's out there. They came to the rescue on that one. Let me see. Mixon is out. Burrow stacks look sweet. Maybe hoping for. I think that makes sense. I also am excited for. Dang, I took Waller, and Kittle's going to be here, isn't he? I also am excited for my guy for best ball purposes, not for DFS. But P. Ryan, Samaje P. Ryan. It'd be really nice to get a quote unquote usable week out of P. Ryan. That would be pretty sweet. Good Lord, this area of the draft. I guess I'll take Thielen. Yuck. That's gross. This is an unfortunate. Obviously, kind of would love to have that 2v2 back now, I guess, of Waller to Kittle. I don't know who was there. What receivers were there. We talked about this too on Friday when I did one of these streams. It's such an awkward like drafting experience when you went from knowing every single player that's available at every pocket of every draft and knowing who you like and what stacks you have set up and what, when you need to take guys and blah, 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 blah. And like, that's gone, like completely gone. I don't know who's available ever. I don't know anyone's ADP. I'm very much flying blind. Yeah, I think he might be the Trudon. I think asked about. Okay. I see what you're saying. I was gonna say Kittle. It might be the. Let me find it. Might be the buy low. I think in this because even the usage has been relatively fine. Ooh, Dak is available here too. I'm taking T. My problem with this, I don't want two top 4 tight ends. I want one top 4 tight end, and then use my 4th round pick on a top 10 wide receiver. Because Kittle and the power of Kittle or Waller individually is in them being tight ends and using their like high floor and high ceiling at tight end every week. It's not like having, spending two of your top 4 round picks on both of them, because they're really not going to be flex plays you use very often. At least, the odds that Waller and Kittle both go for a huge week relative to what early round wide receivers are doing is pretty unlikely. So I still would kind of stick to one. That this is this is like perfectly said. This is exactly how I feel. I was during the off season, like cooking dinner, multi-tabling best ball drafts. Cooking dinner, maybe like feeding the dogs, watching something on TV, and got multiple drafts going on my phone all at once, because all I had to know is like, all right, am I on the clock? Like as long as I knew when I was going to be on the clock, it's like, oh, I can look really quick and be like, okay, this is my team. I got these stacks, whatever. Here's what round it is, and I knew who to take. And it was like, it was totally instinctive. It didn't matter. Like, it didn't really matter what else I was doing. And so that's why I would joke with like Overset and stuff about like I was doing fast drafts, because I would just fire like, so I set my phone like literally right here on a little stand thing while I'm working at my desk. And so I would just be working. Like I might even like be streaming like this and have a draft going, a draft that I'm not streaming going, and like, oh, on the clock. Okay. Boop, boop, boop. Got it. And like, I was totally comfortable. I never felt stressed, like all throughout the workday. If I wanted to do drafts literally the whole time, I'd be totally fine. It was like brainless. Now, like I feel like an absolute moron is the perfect way to put it. I have no I have no idea what I'm doing. I have no idea who goes where. I've done 10 of these now, and I still like, I don't know. I don't feel comfortable at all. I don't know where anyone goes. I don't know how to set up stacks. I don't know, like, oh, I don't even really feel comfortable. Like, oh, do I need to hammer wide receiver because it gets thin? Like, we had that issue during the offseason. That was the thing. Like, got to get our wide receivers early because the wide receiver thirst is so strong and it's going to drop off, blah, blah, blah. Like, is that true right now? I don't know. It doesn't feel like it, but also the running backs feel awful. Every running back feels like awful outside of like CMC and Henry, maybe Eckler or something. It's a mess. Good Lord, Kyle Pitts at the 606, huh? Holy cow. That's kind of crazy. Sutton or AB? Or Julio? Dang, Julio way back here too, huh? I have like almost zero Antonio Brown across like all my preseason drafts. I'm trying to think of how many total. I don't know, 800. Let's just call it 800 preseason drafts. I don't even less than 5 Antonio Brown teams. And he is a guy that I feel like I might have just kind of been a little bit wrong about. And so I really actually think I prefer Sutton there. But I feel like AB could be, one of the guys that catches multiple touchdowns in the playoffs that I want on my team. I did 7 I did 7 fast drafts at once in the final hour, and I felt 100 times more comfortable than you. That is another perfect synopsis of this situation that we're in right now. I don't know. So people are like, who do you like here? Who I don't know. I just kind of look at the list. I have like rankings up and stuff, but like I don't even feel that good about my rankings. Like I haven't even posted like the top 200 because every day something changes, and then you have to like readjust, right? Where do you put now? Tell me where you put Damian Williams and David Montgomery in like a in season rankings. I mean, I don't know. I really don't know. we didn't have these kinds of dynamics. I guess there was like Michael Thomas and Rashad Bateman, but that wasn't that big of a deal. Stuff's changing every day. It's tough. These are tough. It's really tough. So to that point, you know, I probably say this like too much, but like structure, right? Like as long as you're drafting in good structures, like really the players don't really, I mean, they matter, right? Obviously, if you drafted Cooper Kupp or pick another wide receiver or Robert Woods, I guess they went like right next to each other, right? That decision point makes a big difference, but really at the end of the day, the players don't matter that much as long as you draft a structurally sound team. So like, I still think there's a pretty big edge. I also am still like semi-fairly anchored to like the preseason ADPs, which I feel is also like sometimes a disadvantage, but mostly an advantage. Because like I feel I can appropriately react, or at least I think that I'm appropriately reacting. I think I can somewhat appropriately react to things that I'm seeing, like Antonio Brown. I took Antonio Brown. I never would have done that a month ago. But keep perspective of where we valued these guys really not very long ago, and not that much data different now, you know. So I really like Michael Pittman for sure. I'm not too worried about the like. I try not to do too much of the regression thing, right? Whether that's right, wrong, or indifferent. But that's just. But I like Pittman for sure. But there's also a reason why, you know, the offense isn't scoring as many touchdowns. But I don't have an issue. I don't have an issue with that. I tend to side more with. So I think Sutton without those other wide receivers has a bit more upside than Michael Pittman, and then Antonio Brown's on clearly a better offense and a pass-heavy offense, and so I tend to side that way. But I think coin flipping between those guys seems totally fine. Yeah, even I think it was even probably before 120s. On Underdog, the Moors got into the ninth round or eighth round or something on Underdog. On DraftKings, those guys were 120 or something like that. Rondale used to go in the 150s on DraftKings. That was really funny. I did enjoy that. I did enjoy those days. Holy cow. If he doesn't take Rodgers, I might take Rodgers. I got Devontae. I don't really like Rodgers. But I'm kind of cool taking Rodgers here, actually. Yeah, it definitely was. It was wild. It was also very different. Like how you should attack Underdog versus DraftKings, I think was pretty wildly different. I feel bad about my team, but there's a guy in this draft with 4 running backs and 0 wide receivers, and now I know I'll finish. Who in this draft that we're in right now? Somebody has 4. What did you say? 4 running backs and 0 wide receivers. This guy? No. I don't know. I can't see it. I'll find him on the top. This gentleman. The old Marvin Jones, the old anchor. Sorry, Mikey C. This is if you're watching, thank you for watching. Don't worry about this. Thanks for watching the show. Hit the like button. Smash the like button. And all that fun stuff. But seriously, why are you doing this to yourself with this team? What's even the point? What is even the point of this team? Don't love the Steelers, but Juju past pick 100 feels okay. Yeah, can't recommend the old Anchor Marvin Jones draft. Oh, Mikey has the red badge. He's better at this than I am. I'm not allowed to talk to those guys. They don't like me on Twitter. I don't know about Mikey. I don't know Mikey. But seems we might be on auto draft. Looks like just taking best available player every pick. Is my current guess. Kind of what it looks like. 2 quarterbacks before 1 wide receiver. That's a new one. I've never seen that. I don't know if I've seen that one. 2 quarterbacks and 4 running backs before a wide receiver is probably going to get. I'll be interested to see how this turns out, actually. I'm excited that you pointed this out because I think that there's viability to just about any strategy here. And like if you draft this team that he drafted and he drafted structurally sound, I think you can be okay. It sounds ridiculous coming from someone that is a supposedly this wide receiver zealot or whatever. But I like having these kind of very different and crazy off the wall teams in my portfolio. Now, if you go back and you draft 6 running backs on that team or something, or 3 quarterbacks, then it's bad. But not intentionally, Dan. Not intentionally. There's just only so much time in the day, and the like streams with using underdog are so much cleaner and smoother. I tend to try to lean towards underdog. But I'm not done. Like, I'm definitely not personally done. It's just I'm also trying to do NBA. I want to get my NBA drafts in. I want to get my resurrection drafts in. I'm obviously playing DFS and all that kind of stuff. And so there are only so many hours in the day. I'm obviously trying to get my work done and get rankings and stuff up on the site. And, it's tough. I shouldn't say tough. I'm living on easy street, but you get what I mean. I'm going to do something just really, really painful here, I think. Can you guys close your eyes and let this pick go by really quick? And don't worry about it. Then we'll just move on. We'll just move on to the next thing. Let's talk about Mike Davis. I just drafted arbitrage Mike Davis. Melvin Gordon, what's the difference? No, I'm just trying to get running back bodies that are going to play on this team. As I get older, the older I get, the more sleep I need. If I don't get enough sleep, I'm 33 and I feel like I'm 53. But if I don't get enough sleep, it's not pretty for me. I'm not productive. It's a tough scene. So sadly, I do. I need sleep. Luckily, they make things that can help you fall asleep nowadays, which is nice. This is hideous. Also, I am kind of happy I did go wide receiver heavy, because this is, Fuller. Side note, can we talk about Will Fuller? What a disaster. I can't believe I might just take Nyheim Hines over Myles Gaskin, but here we are. I think that might have been a mistake, but we'll see. I will fully admit that I am human, and I played Myles Gaskin in DFS this week, week 4. He played 23% of the snaps, got 2 carries for 3 yards and 0 targets. I paid $5.3K in DraftKings salary for 0.3 points from Myles Gaskin in tournaments, paired with the Dolphins defense against the Colts with O-line injuries. Quentin Nelson's out. Carson Wentz is a walking turnover on 2 sprained ankles. Dolphins got wrecked by the Colts. Absolutely wrecked. But on a positive note, Mo Alley Cox scored 2 touchdowns. So I lost a lot of money. Sorry, I gotta pour a drink. I lost a lot of money on Myles Gaskin and the Dolphins. But hopefully the 20-point Mo Alley Cox usable week will come back. And help. 33. How old are you, Belair? I'm going to put you on blast. How old are you, Belair? 33. I don't feel young. I feel like I'm definitely getting old. I know that 33 isn't old, but like, I remember vividly. Feels like yesterday, my college days. Now I'm married. About to have our soon to have anniversary. And my body aches when I wake up in the morning. I have back problems. My ankles just pop. My knees pop. It's bad. This is why I play fantasy football now and not real football. It's tough. What is my team right now, by the way? This was a terrible idea. Happy hour and drafting, drinking, talking about how old we are and what body parts hurt when we wake up in the morning. I shouldn't have said that. That's inappropriate. And then I end up drafting Melvin Gordon and Naheem Hines. Yeah, this is true, Wallace. Also, love your avatar. That's a good looking dog. You are on the right stream to have dog pictures. I mean, I don't think I can even quite explain how much joy the second Mo Alley Cox touchdown brought me. Like, I remember a stream, maybe July. I was smashing Mo Alley Cox in the 18th round of every underdog draft. Literally every, we did a stream and people asked to see my exposures. So I pulled them up because I don't give a shit if people see my exposures. And at that point in time, I don't remember how many drafts I had done, but I had 60 to 65% Mo Alley Cox. So needless to say, I was overexposed. He's not even my highest on tight end, I don't think. Now, he might still be my highest on tight end, but not by like a ton. I basically stopped drafting him, is what I'm saying. But I have a lot of investment into Mo Alley Cox, which I felt fine about early and don't feel very good about now. But the 2 touchdown week, that's like this is super lame and cheesy, right? But that's why we do this. That is fun. Drafting a bunch of Mo Alley Cox and then getting the random 2 touchdown game and getting that joy is being able to tweet, Mo Alley season, and 24 people like it because they watched your stream and they're like, look at this fucking idiot that drafted all this Mo Alley Cox and oh shit, he actually got 2 touchdowns from Mo Alley Cox. That's the point, right? That's fun. And we're all just trying to have fun. Rojo. I will take Devin Singletary here. Yes, absolutely I will. On a 0 RB team. We're cooking with gas. Gents. Rojo. the 7 Rojo points. That's how I felt about which week 2 or week whenever Latavius scored. I remember Okay. Also, you want to talk about luck box? Luck boxing 2 Mo Alley Cox touchdowns. And luck boxing Latavius being so bad that Latavius was another like core play for me. Latavius is so bad he gets cut by the Saints, winds up on the Ravens because all 3 of their running backs are out for the season. Then the guy in front of him is a young player who like plays himself out of the job. I drafted Latavius to be Kamara's like handcuff basically, and all of a sudden I have the Ravens starting. But to your Rojo point, that was how I felt about Latavius. It was like 2 weeks ago, he scores like 7 fantasy points, and I'm like, yes, baby, because I know there are teams that I need those 7 fantasy points. So I missed this. That's funny. That's funny. Yeah, this is actually a really good point, right? Fuller was like maybe like he was like Mike Williams of last year, just total league winner in the 7th round or something like that. No, it's basically what it was, Mike Williams. The RB6 or the RB6. Father, forgive me for I have sinned. The wide receiver 6 in the 7th round with some serious spike weeks, total smash, and then obviously suspended, and you miss him for the playoffs. If he can come back, save my Tua stacks that are probably at the bottom of every league right now, so it might not matter. But if he can come back and be healthy for the playoffs and play well, is it worth it? I think it's worth it. I hope you and me both, Dan. I think Komet. I don't know if Komet passed Mo Alley for my highest on tight end, but if not, they're right there. It's those guys: Mo Alley Cox, Komet, Kelsey, Pitts. I'm trying to think. Everett. I think those are my highest on tight ends. So yeah, Cole Komet week would be very nice. That would be damn. I was really, really looking for Jeff Wilson there. Side note, you want to talk about buying low? We were talking about buying low earlier. I know. I get we've written Kenyon Drake off now, but I'll buy low here, right here on Kenyon Drake. Let's see. Okay. I have had some major misses so far this season, and I've had some okay hits, and I have luck boxed I have seriously luck boxed some insane shit. If Darrington Evans comes back and is relevant, and like I have been tilting. God, I can't believe you brought this up. I have been tilting. Watching Jeremy McNichols put up multiple usable weeks in the first 4 weeks of the season, even while Derrick Henry is the RB1. This was the thesis of the play of Darrington. It's playing out how I wanted it to play out. What I hoped to happen with Darrington Evans is happening. And I can't benefit from it. Ooh, Teddy or Heineke, those are interesting. Oh, no, I got to take MBS. I have Rodgers. The Darrington thing is so frustrating. Jeremy McNichols had 12 targets last week. 12. He scored a touchdown the week before. Receiving touchdown. The role that Darrington was going to play. Yikes. Tough scene. Any rookies you like who you don't think get going until the? Ooh, this is an interesting way to frame the question. I don't want to like pinpoint something necessarily where they don't like, it's like firm where it's the playoff weeks, but guys later in the season, I think can start to really start to take off. The first one that comes to mind, this always was the first one that came to my mind, like preseason when we talked about this exact thing. Nico Collins. Nico Collins is the first guy that really jumps off the page, the screen, whatever you want to call it, for me in this train of thought. I'm not sure Brandon Cooks is going to remain on the Texans through the end of the year. I think it's very possible he gets traded. Even if he doesn't get traded, I think it's possible we get to those playoff weeks then, like you said, Casey, and the Texans have one win. And like, why are we playing Brandon Cooks? Let's see, let's get the ball to Nico type of thing. Fuller, AJ Brown, Gallup, and T are my 4 highest owned wide receivers. Seems like you've had a good start. Pretty good. What's the total games played on those guys? Fuller's played 1. AJ Brown's played 2. So that's 3. Gallup's played 1, so that's 4. T's played 2. Your top 4 highest owned wide receivers have played 6 games. Pretty good. 2 touchdowns. Glass half full. They have scored 2 touchdowns in 6 total games. If I told you your wide receiver scored 30 touchdowns in 33% of the games, is that good? I don't even know if that's good. Just trying to make it sound better for you than it is, because it's not good. Oh yeah, baby. Oh yeah. I'm not changing your mind. I talked about it on Friday. That's my favorite late round tight end in these. That's my favorite late round tight end in these resurrection drafts. Dan Arnold. I say that now, and somebody's going to take him. He might be gone already. I don't even know what his ADP is. 185. It appears I should have taken him right there. See, I have no idea what I'm doing. I agree, but I agree, Champ. I totally agree. Yeah. I'm not that far off from those numbers. I'll pull it up on my phone on the side here really quick. I want to see what my exact numbers are for those 2 guys. It's not that high, but I always forget. Underdog has live and active and completed on the screen. And I still, to this day, having opened the app thousands and thousands of times, I've opened this app. And I still, to this day, to try to remember which section to go to for which thing I'm looking for, I get it wrong the first time. I know it's live is what I'm looking for this, but I'm like, oh, active. Yeah. Active or completed. I completed this draft, right? How are you supposed to know which one of those it is? Come on, Underdog. Did Arnold go? Yahtzee. Look at this. This is what we call a draft coming together. Okay, exposure, tight end, 24% Cole Kmet. I have 24% Cole Kmet, 23% Mo Alley Cox. One thing they do percentage of drafts, it's like percentage of teams, which I do think, I guess, makes sense. But like Mo Alley Cox, like I wasn't drafting him at all on like puppy teams. And so I have more, despite a lower percentage, I have significantly more dollars on Mo Alley Cox than Cole Kmet. So, okay, so my top 5 tight ends, Cole Kmet, Mo Alley Cox, Kyle Pitts, Travis Kelce, Anthony Ferkser, Gerald Everett, George Kittle, Hunter Henry. Some good and some bad. I have one Gronk team. Yeah. No, two. Two Gronk teams. Okay. You want to hear a fun one though? While we're talking exposures, we're just gonna run some victory laps real quick. Tight end was not my exposure. That wasn't pretty for my tight ends. Running back. If we exclude Darrington and think about heading into week 5, I guess even Darrington's about to get activated, right? Okay, so Darrington is my highest owned running back. Darrell Henderson, Damian Williams, Samaje Perine, Latavius Murray. That's my top 5. You don't talk about luck. When I said I luck boxed some shit, you luck box. So Henderson was one of my highest owned running backs before the Akers thing. He's my second highest owned running back because I was smashing him in, I think the puppy or the puppy 2 or whichever one of the puppies, when he was like a 5th, 6th round pick. But I had like 20% of him before Akers got hurt. But so Darrington coming back, and then Luckbox, Demont, and Mixon injuries. Luckbox, Latavius to the Ravens, and then Pollard is next, and then Gibson, and then Madison. Gibson, the one guy who I tied my brand to for the entire year, is the worst one. I am going to take Marlon Mack. I had a take yesterday that they're showcasing him for a trade. Okay. They're showcasing Marlon Mack for a trade. And the Ravens are going to trade for Marlon Mack. That was my bold hot take. At least my big dog exposures are separate, so I really know. Yeah, that is a really good point. My big dog teams are horrible, by the way. Legit horrible. I'm not advancing in any of them. I drafted a bunch of Lawrence. I have some 4th place teams. That's my best. My best big dog team is in 4th. Here we can look. Live. Best ball. I did 7 big dog drafts. I say this now. I wanted to do more, and I didn't have this. I was trying to max everything on DraftKings. I was trying to, and ended up that DraftKings took all my time at the end of the season because I was trying to get everything smashed over there because it was just so unbelievably soft. My best team, my highest scoring team on DraftKings, literally, I lost. I got the 101 and lost Christian McCaffrey. I was doing the thing where I talked about earlier, where I'm like cooking dinner, and I remember this draft. I auto-picked Patrick Mahomes, auto-picked my rounds like 8 through 13 picks. And so I ended up with 3 quarterbacks on a Mahomes team. I took Gronk, even though I hated Gronk, and Gronk's ADP on DraftKings was egregious. And like this team is like an absolute smash. It's my highest scoring team, and it has Christian McCaffrey. That's how soft DraftKings is. So anyway, you see I named a couple of these, like the high T. Look at this god-awful team Silva made me draft. When Silva came on stream and we drafted a big dog team. I guess we do have Fields now, but we lost. So we went hyper fragile. And we take Mostert, of course, because we have to take Mostert. And he is obviously done. The wide receivers have been okay, right? Visca, Mike Williams, Hollywood. But Hamler's gone. Did luckbox some Tim Patrick. And then we take Irv with Kelsey. And he's done. So yeah, my big dog teams are not good. Not very good. Like I said, 4th place is my best team. And it's a freaking Tyson team. And Justice Hill. I was doing that sometimes in the big dog where I thought they would both have a role, and taking both just as the enticing because they were like 18th and 20th round picks. Wah, wah. I would love this. I was drafting a good bit of McKinnon, and that looks really bad so far. That looks really bad. I think this makes sense too, Chris Evans. Obviously I will continue to pump my P. Ryan bags, but Evans is a talented young kid. If the Bengals, the unfortunate part for this theory for Evans is that the Bengals are off to a winning start. Not like, it's not like they're undefeated, but you know what I mean? But if they continue, if they fall, which I mean, Browns and Ravens in their division and Steelers, but the Steelers are not very good. Chris Evans could continue to take a leap. I like that. 743. I was looking at it just a little bit ago. 743 is my highest on DraftKings. Tyreek, Debo, Evans, Kupp, Chase, McClellan. Yeah, I think everybody obviously knows that now. Like, you either need to have like super, super high scores, right? You either need Tyreek or Derrick Henry in the first round, and then you need some combination of Kupp, Debo, DJ Moore, Mike Williams. Yep. Trying to think of who else. I guess, while Gronk missing last week hurt the Gronk thing, but you know what I mean? Like, it's basically those wide receivers and then like making sure your running backs weren't just like completely awful. And so I hate, like, it's this double-edged sword of like, we should all have fun. The whole point of this is to enjoy it. I didn't spend, an ungodly amount of hours talking about this subject and drafting teams, for these contests to not enjoy the ride, to not enjoy the Mo Alley Cox 2-touchdown game might mean nothing for me at the end of the year, but goddamn if I didn't enjoy it, right? That's the point. And so I like support that more than anyone on the planet. However, it's like we're in week 4. Bye weeks haven't even started. And look at all the injuries. And people want to be like, oh, here's what my advance rate is. Here's where I stand. I was right about this. And it's like, that's the frustrating part, because clearly, we're playing a 17-week contest in which the final 3 weeks are the most important. And the first 4 weeks might be the single most meaningless part of all of it. The first 5 weeks, I guess, before the bye weeks, this week included, are like the single least meaningful weeks of the entire season. And we still have, 8, 9 more regular season weeks. It's tough. It is tough. So I will be doing an NBA draft tomorrow, another resurrection draft on Friday. Cheers, brother. I like your frog jacket. What is that? Frog jacket? But it looks cool. And I'm being serious. I'm normally very sarcastic, but that wasn't. I kind of want to know where you got that. So schedule short term moving forward is to be doing Monday, Wednesday, Friday in season football drafts. Tuesday, Thursday NBA drafts. I'm working on bringing on some fun guests for some NBA drafts. I know this has been mostly a football discussion, and we did a football draft. But if you have not, even if you don't know a lot about NBA, if you have not dipped your toes into the NBA best ball waters, I actually really recommend it. I think you'll find if you're looking for ROI or like, EV, that the NBA best ball drafts are probably the best thing that exists out there for us, like in just about any form of gambling. I really do believe that. It's an totally unconquered area. And I'm not saying I'm an expert either. But I think you guys are all very sharp, having done so many NFL best ball drafts and just understanding structure, roster construction, game theory, and all that kind of stuff, that I think that there's a big edge just for understanding that part of it in and of itself. And so I'm getting deep into the NBA streets. And so that I actually do recommend it for anybody that's interested in just best ball in general. It's obviously will be something fun to sweat beyond the NFL season, but NFL season is just getting going, right? We're only a month in, and I will be continuing to do NFL best ball stuff moving forward constantly throughout the year, even up until, right, there's going to be playoff contests. We're going to be drafting playoff teams, and that I'm really looking forward to that. So we're not going anywhere. It's been an absolute blast today. Thank you guys for joining me. And happy hour. I know we had to skip last week, but next week we'll be back. And tons of drafts, lots and lots of drafting over the next few weeks. So for me, and as always for my dogs, who I don't think were barking and stuff during this stream. For once, I don't think that they were barking. And for my man King Coakley and Alex and everybody in the chat, KZ, everybody, Belair, thank you so much. And I will see you guys tomorrow.